And welcome in to Main Event Sports TV live here from 1101 South 1st Street, Tunerville Deli and Pizza Pub here in beautiful old Louisville. Haven Harrington, my man sitting in with us, 104.7 WLOU. Main Events in the building, Have. And you know what? Can you feel the power
of football?
You know right around the corner.
I can.
T-minus less than 3 weeks. We have 19 days. We are Michael Bush away, number 19 away from kicking off this football season, Haven.
I'm excited. This football season, I think, is going to be epic, both for the NFL and for college football. I think we're going to see a lot of new things. Got a lot of new stars coming out, a lot of draft picks in their first preseason game.
Yes.
Showed out. Baker Mayfield showed out.
But hey, don't.
But we're going too far. We're
doing too much.
I'm excited about football.
Absolutely.
Everybody who watches the Main Event Sports Show knows that this guy right here is basketball 24/7, 365. Conversely, I'm football 24/7, 365.
Absolutely.
I watch Canadian football. I watch arena football, indoor football.
Did you know that the Arena League only has like 4 teams left?
Yes. Not only does you know what?
The Arena League, everybody remembers when that used to be like a big thing. Like they think they had just like an Arena Bowl like 30, and there's like 4 teams.
Not only does the Arena Football League only have 4 teams, but the worst team in the league won the championship. They entered the playoffs like 2-13 or 2-10.
Yeah, something like that. They were like 1-11 or 2-10 or something. So
and then won the championship.
Yeah, so
going away.
You know, we got to get that together. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that they need to call up the Kentucky Extreme and tell us to get some juice back in the Arena League. What do you think?
You know what? We'll see what the Louisville Extreme has coming up because you never know. I'm hearing rumblings.
Are you?
That professional football may be coming back to the city. So we'll see.
I like it.
Rumbling.
But you know what? We're going to get this kicked off, man. We got a lot of things to cover. But the first thing we're going to cover right now is I want to get into this preview. Okay, we talked a little bit about our 2 early predictions. I told you I was a little excited about the University of Louisville. And I saw a pathway to greatness. I saw a pathway that Louisville could shock the world and get it done. I saw that. Okay, so you know, in terms of that, I'm still excited about that. And then, of course, Louisville had their kind of season preview for the fans this past Saturday. Of course, Media Day went down as well, awesome. Which was awesome. So I figured we'd break it down. This week we're going to break down the offense, some of the things and guys that you like on the offense for Louisville, and then we'll next week break down the defense. But I did want to kind of get it started by the guys who made some news this week. And Haven, we kind of talked about it. You know, when I talked about my hope and you know the pathway to victory, I said that matchup of the Louisville wide receiving core, which is one of the best, if not the best in the ACC and one of the best units in the country, versus a very, very vanilla, very green Alabama secondary. And lo and behold, Des Fitzpatrick.
Right on cue.
Comes out. And not only does Des Fitzpatrick come out and say, you know what, I think we'll do well. He literally came out and said, you know what, I think every Louisville wide receiver, every receiver that we have, even the walk-ons from, you know, St. X and Trinity and all local schools, can beat their opponent or opposition from Alabama one-on-one. All of us can. Like, literally, as a group, we're more talented than they are. Haven Harrington, I'm going to ask you first. What do you think about Dez's comments? Some Louisville fans are nervous about Dez coming out there. What did you think about the comments?
You know, I understand why Louisville fans are nervous because you don't want to poke the bear. And Alabama is that bear.
Yeah.
They are the 800-pound gorilla, the elephant in the room, whatever you want to say.
8,000-pound gorilla.
In college football. No other team in the modern era of college football has been as successful as Alabama. They lose all their team to NFL, and then their backups are just as good as the guys replaced. Happens every year.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to say this. I like the moxie. I like the fact he's calling out Alabama saying we're better than you because you know what? I want my players to be confident. I want my team to have that swag because I remember when Bobby first got here, And especially the 2006 team and Mario and those guys had swag.
Yes.
The 2014 with Montrell and J.R. Russell and Tinch and those guys and Gent and Barnage, they had swag.
Yes.
They took the field knowing they were going to defeat everybody, that nobody was going to stand in their way for football world domination. And that's a swag I like. I know a lot of guys don't like that. I know a lot of guys just give us the PC answer. You give us the Peyton Manning answer where you say a whole bunch of words, but you actually say nothing at all.
Nothing at all, right.
Yeah, give us one of those answers that we put our pants on one leg at a time, iron sharpens iron, every cliche you can think of. No, I want my guys to have swagger, especially my wide receivers. I want my wide receivers to have swagger. That's why I like guys like Terrell Owens,
right.
Chad Ochocinco, guys with swag. Michael Irvin. Every wide receiver apparently for the University of Miami between like 84 to
right.
to like 2001. Just straight swag, because you have to have that confidence. You have that swagger when you're playing football. But this isn't tiddlywinks. This isn't basketball. You could be finesse. No, this is football, and you're going against arguably the number one team in the nation.
Yes.
Matter of fact, U of L will probably play both number one teams. I'm sure Clemson will be ranked number one at one point this year.
That's crazy.
And Alabama, I'm sure, is going to start the season number one.
The two most dominant programs in college football today.
For the past 5 years, yes,
Ooh.
the two most dominant programs. So you know what? You have to have swag.
And three of what, the past 6 or 7 national champions, including Florida State?
Yes. So you have to have that swag. You got to be able to walk against Florida State, Clemson, Alabama, and be like, yeah, I'm good. You can't hold me. That's what you need. You need that swag, especially after coming off last year. You have to have that swag. You have to have that energy and that fire. So I'm all for it.
You know what? When I think about those comments about what happened with Fitzpatrick's comments, it took me back, Haven, and just imagine, if you will, I'm going to take you way back to 2004. And a plucky young wide receiver by the name of Tiger Jones unabashedly came out and said, you know what? We're not only coming to Miami to play. We're coming to Miami to win. And people looked at that and kind of were shocked that, Louisville is going to come in and talk smack. Like, the Miami fans were laughing at him. The national pundits were like, get out of here. Kirk Herbstreit was like, what's this kid smoking? Everybody just kind of laughed. And Tiger was the first guy to really show that moxie. And he talked the talk. But then when those guys got out there,
they walked the
in
walk.
South Beach, they came out and absolutely put on a show.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't,
including Tiger,
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Stephon LaFleur's going out in that game, Louisville beats Miami.
Yeah.
And is in the BCS Bowl game, would win the BCS Bowl game.
Yeah.
And Louisville would have been on the map much earlier. So when 2006 happens, if it wasn't for an offsides, with a national championship, all things change. But
absolutely. But I mean, that's what this is.
But you need that swag.
It's giving me that feeling like this is the first time in Bobby Petrino's second go around, even with Lamar Jackson. Like, I heard a lot of Lamar was a very confident young guy, but the team as a whole they didn't talk a lot. And I know that there were a lot of issues the previous season with Peter Sermon and the defense, so I think that had a lot to do with it. In the year prior to that, Lamar was still kind of learning. But this is the first year where I feel that confidence from everybody. Like, the whole team feels as if
they're ready.
We're here, and we're not here to play. We're here to win. And this is the first time that I've gotten that feeling that this team literally believes that not only do they belong on the field, they feel like they're the better team out there. So, I mean, that's the type of belief Bobby Petrino's continue to say, you know what, if we're going to have an opportunity to go out there and play against the best and have a chance to win, you cannot go into that game scared and afraid. And I think that's what Des Fitzpatrick was showing, is the fact that he's unafraid. And you know what? He was a freshman All-American. Had almost 1,000 yards receiving as a freshman last year, was one of the best players, in the country coming out. He was Louisville's highest rated recruit, even though he did redshirt his freshman season. And, I think that's the way you have to play. And if you're a wide receiver looking at a very green secondary for Alabama playing in game one, I think they have a lot to be excited about. I cannot wait. This team reminds me so much of that Montrell Jones, Josh Tinch, Ronnie Gent group, where you just had so much talent and depth.
J.R. Russell, he was
J.R. Russell. I mean, it was just so much talent on that team, and the way Bobby Petrino was just supposed, he was able to just orchestrate that perfect offense to get guys running wide open. I cannot wait to see what he puts out there.
As a lot of you guys know, that 2004 Cardinal team, I think, is the best Cardinal football team ever. Ever. That's just me. So for you to compare this group to that group, to me says a lot. Because to me that's the best. That's the most complete Cardinal football team. May not be the most talented.
That was the most confident Cardinal team I ever remember.
It's not the most talented football team Louisville's had, but they're the best.
Yes, I agree.
So let's go a position-by-position breakdown of Louisville's offense. Now, we start the position talk with Des Fitzpatrick. So let's continue with the wide receiver group. This group, I think, even with Jalen Smith maybe missing the first game.
I think Jalen will be back. He's not going to miss a chance to play Alabama.
He's having surgery.
Man, look here. Rub some dirt on it.
Okay, so even without
Rub some dirt on it, Jalen.
Even without Jalen Smith.
Who needs an appendix, man? Just rip it out and throw it on the sideline. Keep playing.
You got Des Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Seth Dawkins. I mean, you have
Corey Reed.
You have a bevy of wide receivers.
Justin Marshall, now out of his red shirt season, a friend of the Main Event Sports Show.
Yes. Tall wide receivers.
Tutu Atwell, who had a very, very nice showing on Saturday for the fan event. One of the more talented players. Like my man Jody Demling, from talking to him, he said that he felt that Tutu Atwell was the best receiver on the field Saturday. And considering you have Des Fitzpatrick and Seth Dawkins out there,
that's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot.
And you have that type of talented wide receiver. This literally could be Louisville's best wide receiver group ever.
I agree.
Ever. And then that's saying a lot. I mean, if I had to give a grade to wide receivers, right now, preseason, they get an A. But you know what? Football, especially when you play Alabama and Clemson and probably Florida State, now the Willie Taggart's there, football is won and lost in the trenches. So let's talk about Louisville's offensive line. Well, that's the most important part of any offense is your offensive line. If you can't block anybody, it doesn't matter how good your receivers are, how good your running backs are, how good your tight ends are. It doesn't matter. It's all about the big guys up front. And to kind of give us an idea about the big guys up front, we actually have a former offensive lineman in the studio or in the Oval Pizza Pub right now. Matter of fact, this guy blocked for the greatest running back ever to come out of Manual High School, Travis Prentice. I have to give you William Perkins is over here.
Big Wheels in the house.
Yeah, big Wheels in the house. He's was offensive lineman back in Manual back in the day. Why don't you come over here for a second, sir? yeah. Come on over here. Yeah, don't be shy. Come on over here. You're offensive lineman. Man, off from Cincinnati and all over. So come on.
He's the guy who blocks out the sun when he walks by.
That's right. Matter of fact, not only was he an offensive lineman, but his son won the state championship for male high school. As an undersized offensive lineman, but very powerful. Got the job done. Christopher Perkins. Big ups to the Christopher Perkins there.
What's up?
What's going on, Big Will?
I can't believe you did this.
Oh, you should. You know me by now. You know I was going to bring you over here to talk football.
Okay, so what you want to know?
Okay, so here we go. Offensive line. You're an offensive lineman. What's the most important thing about being an offensive lineman? Is it attitude, athleticism, quickness? What would you say is the most important thing about being an offensive lineman?
All three.
All three.
I really, you got to have a certain amount of attitude. I mean, you're the big guys on the field. You got to have the attitude. Quickness, you got to have that. And what was the other thing you said?
Footwork.
That goes with quickness.
So, as you look at offensive lines and kind of judge as they call them, the big uglies up front, What's some of the things that you look for? Like when you're watching, look at the Louisville hat on. I'm assuming that you're a Louisville fan. When you watch Louisville's offensive line, what are some things that you notice?
Well, looking at Lamar last season, he was running for his life. The offensive line looked confused, and at certain times. At sometimes it looked like they were doing great. Other times they looked confused, and they were young, from what I understand. So it may just take some time for them to get in the groove of things. I don't know. I didn't really like it. I don't like seeing a quarterback running all over the place. But I know Lamar has to take some of that too, making decisions and whatnot, and wide receivers getting open, and there's a lot of things at play at once.
And Will, I do want to ask you about that. How much harder is it to block when you have a guy that likes to run around? Because doesn't that, when you don't know where the guy is, doesn't it cause holding penalties and everything else? Because the guy's over here, the guy's over there. Your job is to keep this guy off of your quarterback. So then, you're having to grab and pull and everything else, and you end up getting screamed at because the quarterback's running around willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Look, he don't want to throw the quarterbacks. Well, it's okay. You're not on the team no more. You can throw all your previous quarterbacks under the bus now. You can say, I hate when they run around, always getting me. I get yelled at. Coach yells at me for holding.
But you have to know in the back of your mind your quarterback is doing the best they can under that pressure. At that point, they're just trying to make a play. And sometimes that requires them to run around, and the offensive linemen are like, oh, my God, where's he at? You just stick with your assignment, and if you knock your assignment down on the butt, then you go get somebody else.
Hey, there you go. So when you saw Louisville's offensive line troubles last year, especially in the Mississippi State game, the bowl game, what adjustments do you think could be made this offseason to kind of shore up some of those issues with blocking, especially when they got a big, powerful guys coming at them? Well, what are some things you think that Mike Summers, the Louisville's offensive line coach, could possibly do to kind of shore some of that stuff up?
From what I saw, I don't know a lot of what they're doing on the inside. I mean, of course, I'm not in there. But it looks like on the outside, it just looked like they did not weren't too confident in what they were doing. So whenever there's a little bit of doubt or you're a little unsure, you're gonna slow down a little bit. You're not gonna be as quick. You may not be quite as motivated to be strong, get this guy out of the way, because you're not really sure what you're doing. And that's how it kind of looked like to me. It looked like they were confused.
Oh, wow.
But that's just my opinion.
There we go. He heard from a true offensive line professional.
Now let me ask you, just in terms of in general, what did you enjoy more? Did you enjoy the pass blocking or the run blocking? Because it seems like the run block is a little bit more definitive. It's like, we're going here, open up a hole, run your man over. Did you like the run blocking aspect, or did you like the pass blocking more?
Jeez. Now you got me replaying a lot of stuff in the back of my mind.
Got him reminiscing.
They had moments of genius, both pass blocking,
right,
and run blocking.
Right.
So I would really say I wasn't really too.
It was just whatever
over the heels with either one.
Right,
but like I said, they did have moments of brilliance,
Absolutely.
And, I think they just got to get more familiar with what they're doing and develop that confidence and just kind of stick with it. And if you're going to make a mistake, make it full speed.
Hey, I like that.
That's right. Killers. Now, for those who don't know, like I said, Mr. Perkins over here played at Manual High School, and you blocked for the most prolific running back in Manual Sifrid.
One of the blockers. I cannot take credit
Man,
for
look,
all
you know
of
what?
that.
That's a true offensive lineman right there. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's a true offensive lineman. It was the group of us. It was all five of us coming together to pancake and to beat Mel for the first time in forever.
That didn't happen.
Look, I was trying to embellish, man. Trying to give you some props and embellish that you beat Mel, but
We did get St. X.
hey, that's not too bad. You got St. X. So there we go. So, hey, Mr. Perkins, thanks for coming up on the Main Event Sports Show and giving us your expert opinions, being a former offensive lineman yourself.
Expert.
Man, come on, you was a little league football coach. You didn't Pop Warner?
Absolutely. Say it.
Yeah, you go back over there. Yeah, there you go. You go back over there and hang out.
We had to Shanghai Will for a second.
I know.
Shanghai, man.
But so the offensive line there, as he said last year, they look kind of timid.
Yeah.
But as you said, from media days, there's a new swagger on campus.
They seem confident.
The guys have been together a bit longer. Mike Summers has another year with these guys.
And Will talked about confidence. Yeah. Being confident in what you're doing, having the same 5 guys out there together the whole summer, the whole spring, having that unit to me is very important.
You have one of the best offensive line coaches in the country coaching you up, which is tremendous.
Absolutely. So I mean, the big hog mollies up front, much is expected, and I think you're gonna get a lot in return too. I think Lucaeus McNeil is gonna be, of course, he's one of the captains this year. I think he's gonna be excellent with his captainship. Mekhi Becton, baby blindside out there, now moving over to left tackle with Jaron Christian heading to the NFL. Now a Redskin. So I think that they have everything that they need to take that next jump. I like what they're doing at center. I just think that this Louisville team, from the point of attack, is going to have everything that they need to take that next step.
So if you had to get a grade for Louisville's offensive linemen, let's go ahead and give them a grade because we get wide receivers an A so far in preseason. What would you give? Offensive line.
If Christian would have returned, I would have given the offensive line an A. With him gone, I'll give him a B for right now. I'll give him a B, working on a B plus, just depending on how those guys look. If they can hold up to that pass rush of Alabama and give Puma pass 3.5 to 4 seconds, then that may move closer to that B plus A category.
No, talking about against Alabama, if you can give your quarterback 4 seconds, that's an A.
Yeah, but that's the name of the game. 3.5 to 4 seconds, man. You got to be, Bobby Petrino, I'm sure, is going to have a game plan where Puma is getting the ball out extremely quickly. That whole blueprint that Johnny Manziel and Johnny Football with Texas A&M put out there, I think has always worked against Alabama, where you're spreading 4 and 5 wide, quick slants, getting a team that is mostly based around stopping the run, out there on the edges, bigger linebackers, bigger safeties, making those guys have to tackle in space. That's where you take advantage of Alabama. We saw Georgia take advantage of that in the first half, and then Georgia act like they forgot how to throw the ball in the second half and try to just, we're just going to wear you down with the run. Well, you know what? Now you're playing right into Alabama's hands because that's what they do. You have to continue to keep the Crimson Tide off kilter, and that offensive line is going to be a big part of that. So
I agree. So I would also give Louisville's offensive line right now a B. I thought they performed pretty well last year for most of the year.
Yeah, that bowl game just left a bad taste in your mouth. And then he just
kind of, towards the end of the season.
The Mississippi State game.
It seems like
it wasn't even the end of the season. Hey, that Mississippi State game, every time they snapped the ball, it seemed like Lamar Jackson was immediately running for his life. And that game,
they looked lost.
It was pathetic.
They looked confused.
It was pathetic, especially after having a whole month's preparation.
No, you know what? I can't talk about the Mississippi State game.
That was embarrassing.
You know what? I'm not going to talk about
the backup coaching staff.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. If you guys listen to Main Event Sports Show, if you watch us at all on YouTube or Facebook Live, you know how I feel about that Mississippi State game.
I just don't know what happened. It just the offensive line completely lost all their composure.
That was unexcusable. That whole game.
I thought Justin Tuck and Michael Strahan was out there for Mississippi State. I was like,
was unexcusable. You cannot lose.
Jason Pierre-Paul. I thought that was the whole Giants offensive line or defensive line out there for Mississippi State.
You cannot lose to a team that had a guy that never played quarterback that whole year. That you had the running back coach as the head coach. You had Ron English, the DB coach, as your
running back. Looked like a mix between Gale Sayers and Earl Campbell.
The quarterback ran all over you.
Quarterback looked like Cam Newton.
You're like Joe Namath. You're like a combination of Joe Namath.
I just don't know what happened.
I mean, like, what was going on?
I don't know what happened. Let's just blame it all on Peter Sherman. It's all Peter Sherman's fault.
Yes.
Everything that happened was Peter Sherman's fault. So there we go.
No, that bowl game was on Bobby.
That was terrible.
That's on you, Bobby.
I don't know what happened. So because that was so out of character, I'm going to go ahead. Mississippi State was like the bane of the University of Louisville last year. Yes, they eliminated our women from the Final Four. They eliminated the men from the NIT. They beat Louisville in the bowl game. I'm tired of Mississippi State. Tired of them. I hate all teams with bulldog mascots now.
I'm going to give offensive linemen a B.
All of them.
A solid B. So I'm going to say offensive line right now.
I like that.
Preseason, I'm going to give them a B. So you talk about the wide receivers. We talked about the most important group to me in the offense is the offensive line. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about what I think is going to be the next most important group. Running backs. Offensive line's number one. I think the running backs will be the second most important group to this team.
And I think for the running back group, I think we need to keep them as a group because I don't think that necessarily there's going to be a single back that will be featured. I don't think this is going to be like, Louisville circa 2002 with Eric Shelton, carrying the ball 30, 35 times.
Yeah, from 2002 to 2003 was Lionel Gates.
Is giving the ball to Shelton. Eric Shelton carried the ball 7,500 times his first year at Louisville. Yeah. I never will forget that. That first game against Kentucky, he carried the ball almost 40 times in there. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be by committee.
Here's the thing. I rewatched that Kentucky game too, that 2003 Kentucky game. I rewatched it the other night. Yes, and
that was the one that was at U of L, right?
It's in Lexington.
Okay, is that the one that was in the rainstorm?
Yes, that was the rainstorm. Eric Shelton.
That was Shelton's debut.
Like 35 carries, 150 plus yards. Lionel Gates had almost like 90 yards. Louisville had, I think, up to almost 240 yards rushing.
Eric Shelton was an absolute monster in that game.
And I think that's what we're going to get back to this year. That 2004. Cardinal running backs where they just platooned the guys, where you had guys like Eric Shelton, Lionel Gates,
Kobe Smith,
Michael Bush. I mean, you had 4 NFL running backs in your
one backfield. And I think that in terms of
talent,
they all
got playing time.
Absolutely.
Amazingly, they all got playing time and touches.
Louisville last year was probably a snake bit in terms of running backs I've ever seen. I mean, you had Malik Williams go down with the freak arm injury where he was trying to dive over somebody in North Carolina game, dislocates his elbow. You had an ACL for Colin Wilson in his second game back. Dave Williams was coming off-season surgery on his knee. So it took him until almost the end of the year before he was ready to go. Reggie Bonifant pretty much became, I have to carry the ball 75 times because nobody else is healthy.
Well, actually, lucky for him, Lamar did all the carrying.
And then Lamar, because Lamar was the primary feature guy, then Reggie could get a break. But I mean, I've never seen a team go through so many injuries. I mean, literally at one point in the season, they had 2 running backs. You basically had Trey Smith, who was like 5th on the depth chart, and Reggie Bonifant were your only 2 healthy running backs. So it was amazing just in terms of the amount of injuries last year. But with these guys, it seems like everybody's healthy. And if they are healthy, Haven, there's a lot of talent out there.
There is a lot of talent. And one of my complaints about Louisville's offense during the Lamar Jackson era is that I thought Louisville too quickly abandoned the run with the running backs. I thought Lamar kept the ball way too often. I mean, it seemed like every zone read, he was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this. Yeah, I'm going to keep this.
Yeah, I mean, every team basically sold out and just will go tackle number 8.
Yeah, that was it. They sold out because nobody's going to get the ball. But I thought Louisville's offense did so much better when your running backs got into the game and actually became a threat. And I think that's one of the things that gave Florida State such a big time, which probably blew Florida State out. Because the first play of the game, Brandon Radcliffe goes and runs like 35 yards. And he kept giving Brandon Radcliffe the ball. So when you do that fake, read option, people have to, you have to respect that Brandon can get the ball and he can hurt you. But after that, they kind of got away from giving the running backs the ball. They kind of made the offense. Even though Lamar Jackson is a dynamic player, and he could definitely do that. He could definitely shoulder load. I think that kind of made your offense just a little bit easier to predict. I think with Puma,
I'm just going to tell you
that's
this.
not going to be an issue.
First of all, yeah, absolutely not. I am ready to retire the read option. I hated the read option. I've always hated the read option. I love Lamar Jackson. I hate the read option. I've never been a fan of it. I don't like option offenses. I don't like, triple wing T and all that stuff.
To me, only one school really ran the read option well.
West Virginia.
West Virginia with Steve Slayton and Pat White, that was perfection.
Yeah.
Those guys literally were unstoppable.
And Louisville, the Louisville offense the last 2 years has been explosive. And when you have a dynamic player like Lamar Jackson, you have to feature him. And I understand Bobby Petrino having a weapon. I mean, dude's a weapon of mass destruction. So I understand him wanting to use him as much as possible. But I will be glad to see Louisville to get back to more of that power spread game, which made Bobby Petrino famous. I mean, and that's what I really and truly believe they're going to get back to. Puma's not the guy that's going to do a lot of read options. You will do some of it just to keep the defense honest, but
different looks.
Exactly. And if you bring in a Malik Cunningham off the bench, or even a Jordan Travis, if he gets his 4 games as a freshman, you can now play 4 games and still maintain your red shirt status. I think you'll see some of that with some of the young guys, but other than that, you're not going to see Puma getting 20 carries a game. That's not going to happen. You may see Puma 5 to 8 carries a game, but it's going to be for the most part throwing the football down the field. By Petrino mentioned the fact that he really likes the way he throws those crossing patterns. So it is going to be a return to the running back position, and those guys are going to be important to be able to carry the load. But the guys that I'm actually excited about, because they have their big 6'2", 6'3", 220, 225, 230-pound running backs in Colin Wilson, in Day Williams. But what I like are the change of pace backs they have. I have heard so much. I've never heard Bobby Petrino talk so much about freshman running backs as he has Javian Hawkins, the young man out of Florida, and the redshirt freshman Hassan Hall. Those 2 guys, he's continued to talk about how fast they are, talked about their speed, talked about how they give you a different look. And, I think back to guys like George Stripling, who had a well-defined role where you go Bush, you go Shelton, you go with the big guys up the middle, and then you know what? You trick it out and throw a little toss screen out to, your super fast, quick back on the edge like Stripling or like maybe Hassan Hall in this situation, or maybe a Tutu Atwell if he lines up in the backfield, and you get that fire and ice, that thunder and lightning. I think that's going to be something that Louisville's going to really try to take advantage of.
And I agree. And I think that's what I want to see. I want to see Louisville get back to being committed to running the ball with your running backs. I think that change of pace that you can hit people with is phenomenal, because I expect Louisville's offense to be kind of like a hybrid offense, not quite back to the 2006 offense, but someplace in between 2004 and what we did with Lamar. I think someplace in between there. Now, if you go back, do
you think I'd get in trouble if I'm in the press box first time they run a read option if I just start booing?
Yes, you would be. You'd probably get kicked out. But and the reason I say that is because if you go back and go to YouTube, because all the games are never free, and you can watch like some of the Louisville's 2004 season.
Yes.
You notice that they actually let Stephon LaFleur run quite a bit. I mean,
all you gotta do is go back and watch the Cincinnati game. I was gonna say go back and watch that Cincinnati game.
That's like 70-0. I was too no.
Stephon LaFleur had like 120 rushing yards in that game.
Watch the Boise State game in the Liberty Bowl.
Yes, that one of the best, most underrated bowl games ever.
Yes,
like. Everybody doesn't remember much about that Boise State team until the following season, where they upset Oklahoma in the BCS game. But they had that exact same group together, and they lost to Louisville in that Liberty Bowl. That Liberty Bowl was one of the best 2 or 3 bowl games that season.
It wasn't for like Louisville's like turnovers, like 3 turnovers. Louisville dominated that game.
Yeah.
Completely dominated that game. If you watch Stephon LaFleur in that game, you'll see him run a couple designed runs during that game. I think that's what you'll see with Puma pass, but that's all predicated because you had to stop Louisville's running game first, and they gouge folks run the ball because Bobby's always been like 60-40 run pass, and I think we may get back to that now that he has a stable running backs, healthy running backs, and he's back to getting power running backs with Dave Williams, the guy that can hit you with the power that's also pretty fast.
Haven, I'm old school. Like, all this spread stuff and throwing to the wide receivers 85 times, I'm not a fan. I like defense and I like running the football.
All right, Strong.
I love defense and running the football.
All right, Strong.
Barry Foster is one of my favorite running backs of all time, the old Pittsburgh Steelers. So that lets you know.
All right, Strong.
Hey,
you sound like
run the ball.
Now.
Run the ball. Line up. If it's 3rd and 1, I don't want to see a pitch. I don't want to see a running back, a quarterback sneak. You want to turn around, give it to your big 225, 230-pound grown man, and get that first down.
And do grown man things.
You better believe it. That's what I believe in, unless you play in Alabama. Then you better fake it and pitch it to the outside.
Do something else.
Yeah, man. Do it after week 1. How about that? You can do the fakes in week 1. I won't hold it against you because Alabama don't give up too many of them.
No, they don't. But you know what? Look for Dave Williams to have his breakout year. We've heard how good Dave was since he stepped on campus, and then he got hurt.
Hey, he was a monster against Florida State.
Yes, he was a monster against Florida State. So look for Dave Williams to have a breakout season. If he can stay healthy.
He's probably the guy who reminds me the most of Lionel Gates, of the guys where you just have that combination of power and speed.
Yes.
You know, to where he has the ability to run away from guys once he gets into the open field, but he doesn't mind lowering that shoulder and running somebody over. Lionel Gates used to do that all the time. He used to relish running over a safety. Yes. You know, when that guy tried to come up and you know, make the hit. So I expect to see that. Colin Wilson, I just want him to be healthy. Like, that guy is a physical, just to stand next to him and see him, even when he was, quote unquote, not in shape, for him to walk into the room for the press conferences, he just looked like a grown man.
He did, but he's coming off his 2nd knee injury. So with him,
we ain't gonna talk about this. Knock on wood and everything.
Like,
we ain't gonna talk about
the biggest about Colin Wilson is gonna be confidence. You know, how did you overcome that mentally?
Yes.
And he's ready to play. But lucky for us, Louisville has a stable, a bevy of running backs, a change of pace guys, and hopefully it'll be just like with Stripling and some of the smaller backs we have. We can get the guys out in the flats. Hopefully Louisville actually throws screens because Lamar was who never threw his screens. Hopefully get back to throwing screens.
If you can get 35 carries
can you imagine
a game between your 4 or 5 primary guys, I'm good with that.
You're good. Can you imagine getting with Hassan Hall speed on a wheel route coming out the backfield?
Absolutely. I mean, that
action pass.
We used to see that wheel route. I'm telling you, like, that used to be bread and butter of what Bobby Petrino used to do, and you know, when he would orchestrate just flawless game plans, and that's what I want to see Louisville get back to. I've continued to tell you I thought that I love Lamar Jackson, but I said without a doubt, and I've continued to say it, that I thought Louisville's offense would be better once Lamar was gone. Not because it was a knock on him, but because he did not fit what Bobby Petrino loved to do, what Bobby Petrino made his reputation on. Now you get back to what Louisville does, and I'm excited about it.
I don't think we're going to see actually Louisville get back. I think we're going to see, like I said, a hybrid, something between what we did with Lamar and something between the 2004 team, Stephon LaFleur's senior year. I think we'll see something kind of.
Will we see the Wildcat this year?
In between, no. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But you know what? Talking about Stephon LaFleur, let's talk about the quarterbacks now with Puma Pass.
Yes.
I think it's going to be interesting. Puma's much more of a drop-back passer than Lamar is. Puma can run. He's not quick. Like Lamar was quick. Puma's more like fast. He's like a tall, guy that is going to take a couple of steps to get his speed up. He's going to shake a couple of guys, but it's not going to be the same. So
Puma. If this was Madden, okay, because I'm going to talk to everybody in Madden talk now. If this was Madden, Puma, his running ability, his run rating is going to be about a 75, which is better than most of your average quarterback. Most of your average quarterback is a 50, 55. So he's about a 75. Lamar was about a 90.
And Lamar was like off the chart.
You know what I'm saying? 99. You know, he was in terms of.
He was like the all
he was. He was nice. He was the cheat code. He was the cheat code. But Puma's about a 75, so he can do that if he needs to. I would much rather see him scramble if there's nothing down the field. Like that's to me for a big guy like that. Cam Newton made a living off standing back there, throwing, making passes, and then if there was nothing there, then running. Find your lane and go.
And then every now they have those called runs.
Yes. Where you just have that. He would be a great draw up the middle type quarterback.
He takes a couple of steps back.
And then just go straight up the middle. Shoot straight up the field. I think that would be something that would work very well for him.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think you're going to see Puma throwing the ball 25 to 30 times a game. I would expect to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the bread and butter. He's a big guy. He has a great arm, throws a very soft, catchable ball, and that's where you're going to see them make their hay. Like, I really and truly believe that. I think, Bobby Petrino talked a lot about the crossing patterns. He's so tall, he's going to be able to look over that line, find guys. He's not going to have issues delivering that ball on time and on target. And I think that quick passing game is going to be a key coming in 3 weeks.
He could actually make more throws than Lamar can make.
Yes.
So expect to actually see maybe some outs. Because never really saw Lamar throw to the sidelines. That wasn't his strength, which kind of limited how you play call for Lamar Jackson. He had a strong arm, but sometimes his touch.
Well, it was the touch, that touch.
It was the touch. So
Lamar liked to throw the 95 mile an hour fastball.
He's like Brett Favre.
Yes.
So towards the end, you never really saw Lamar throw a fade pattern, which I was really surprised with a little bit having guys like Seth Dawkins and Jalen Smith. It seemed like a fade when you get in the red zone would be like a natural call for Louisville.
Right.
But he never really did it. I see they will go back for that with Puma. Also, like I said, expect to see more outs where the wide receiver runs and cuts towards the sideline. It's a very long throw. You have to be very accurate. You have to have a strong arm to do it. And I think that's something that we will see out of Puma. We're going to see some different throws, which opens up the playbook, which gives you more ways to attack a defense. So
the beauty of the Bobby Petrino offense, Haven, has always been about FTS, feed the studs. It's about it was never about Louisville having the elite of the elite talent. It was about Bobby Petrino's ability to use misdirection to make the defense go one way. So now I'm going to pop a guy out. I'm either going to run a flat route with the tight end, or I'm going to have my running back, block and fall down just to get up and hit you with the screen, go in the opposite direction. That's what Bobby Petrino was a master of, was getting you into space so you get the ball on the run, and now you're going to make a guy miss. And that's what he always did. That's what it was always about. It was never about having the best players. I mean, I love J.R. Russell. I love Tench. I love my man Montrell. But those guys weren't the elite of the elite players. But what they did was everybody did their job. You blocked exactly right. And you ran the route exactly right. Everything was about precision and timing. And if everybody did their job, you were going to get open. So that's what they need to get back to. I love the read option, all that. I really didn't.
No, you don't. Why you just lied? You hate the read option.
But I'm ready to see Bobby Ball, man. Can I see Bobby Ball, please?
No. Honestly, I don't think you will.
It's harsh.
If you want to see old school Bobby Ball, then you need to watch Purdue football.
I knew that. Why is it every time
Purdue football,
we talk about old school, every time we got to bring up, I love Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown's my dude.
He's playing Bobby Ball. That's his offense.
Greg's my boy.
That's his offense.
It is.
Purdue. Look at Western. He was at Western.
Hey,
that's
by the way, Rondell Moore. Just keep it for all our local guys. Rondell Moore is going to be a monster for Purdue this year. So just keep an eye on that dude. Just FYI.
There's no FYI. Everybody's going to know about him.
he's going to be the truth.
Everybody's going to know about him. Yes.
Squatting like 500 at 180 pounds.
I'm telling you.
Just ridiculous.
But you know what?
Yeah.
But you know what? Enough about Jeff Brown, Purdue. We're not talking about Purdue. We're talking about
you're always trying to bring up Purdue all the time.
You said you want a Bobby Ball. I say you're going to watch Jeff Brown to get old school Bobby Ball.
Keep on. I'm going to give you a gold and black pom-poms. Tired of talking about Purdue. Forget Purdue.
We have the new Bobby Ball. And this is Bobby's new offense. We're about to see. This is going to be Bobby's hybrid offense. Not quite spread option, not quite what he did in 2004 to 2006.
So
Some type of hybrid, but I think it's going to be very, very effective.
to wrap this up, I'm going to give you a sentence about the Louisville offense, and I want you to finish the sentence. The University of Louisville offense will be successful this year if what?
If the offensive line can block. Keep it simple.
I like that.
It all comes down to the big guys up front. If Louisville's offensive line can block and open up holes, this offense will be super successful. I think this offense actually will be better than last year's offense. I will go on record and say that right now. I think this offense will be better than last year's offense if the offensive line can progress and if they can block, if they play with confidence, and if they play angry. See, I like for teams to play angry.
Yeah.
I like for teams to play angry with swagger and with hatred in their hearts. And if this team can do that, they will go far. Because Bobby, like when Bobby was here the first time, his teams played with the 3Ds of football. These are my 3Ds of football.
Here are Haven Harrington's 3Ds of football. What are those, Haven?
And it's not determination or nothing like that. So
it's not dedication.
It's not dedication. It's not determination. It's none of those words. It's death, doom, and destruction. You need to play every game with death, doom, and destruction in your heart. You need to hate your opponent and want to physically cripple them and embarrass them whenever you can. And that 2004 Louisville team played with death, doom, and destruction.
Well,
Ask Cincinnati and dance on the bird.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, the University of Louisville football offense will be successful if, and I'm going to put it like this. I'm not going to say Puma Pass. I'm not going to say Juwan because he's going to have an excellent season. He is having what I consider to be his Dante Culpepper season. Because if everybody remembers, Dante Culpepper was drafted out of Central Florida, and he had the ability to sit behind Randall Cunningham for 2 years, awaiting his turn, learning how to play in the NFL, getting his practice reps in. That way, when he started his third season with those great wide receivers, Jake Reed, Randy Moss, Robert Smith at running back, he was able to hit the ground running. And there was basically no hiccup from leaving from Randall Cunningham and moving on to Dante Culpepper. I think you'll see the same thing with Puma Pass. I'm not worried about the quarterback position. He's going to be excellent. It's going to come down to 2 words. Cole Bentley at center. I feel that Cole Bentley is going to be the best center to come through here since Eric Wood.
What?
Better than, I love Mario Benavidez. I love what he was able to do, but it's going to be about Cole Bentley. And if Cole Bentley can come out and dominate the way I expect him to,
Eric Wood. That's something
I think that young man is going to help lead that Louisville offense to a lot of points and a lot of victories this year.
Does he have a curly afro?
Absolutely. Well, actually, this is a sports show. This is Main Event Sports
we're
Live.
live right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. Do you like that? Do you like the call on Cole Bentley?
Well, actually, I've got to make some groceries early to get back, but I'm digging this place is finally. I'm digging this place is finally open again.
Ain't it great to be back in here? We've been out. This is our second week back, and it looks awesome, doesn't it? With all the renovations, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
it looks
there
good.
we go.
Well, when you don't have groceries, I need you to come back and give us some announcements. What do you think?
You know, I spent 20 years on this block, then moved over to the rich part of town. Now I'm back.
Welcome
Hey,
back.
there we go.
That's what I'm
Welcome
talking
back.
about.
Like, welcome back, Carter.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Joe Hammond. You guys are good, aren't you?
Hey, we try. We excited. We ready, but we ready for football, Joe. That's
We're
what
ready.
we
We're
ready,
ready.
man. Appreciate you stopping in. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, like that right there is what's going to get Louisville where they want to be. I believe in Cole Bentley, the pride of Belfry High School. It's going down.
Well, I'm glad you believe. I'm not sold the whole Eric Wood comparison. That's going to come later. But you know what? If you agree or disagree with us, tell us who you think is going to be the breakout player or the breakout unit of this team. Leave in the comments below because I want to hear from you. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And thank you for tuning in to the Maven Sports Show because without you, this could not happen. Peace.